Hey guys, so I had people asking me how we winterize our coop and keeping our chickens warm. We're in growing zone 8B. We're in Texas, just like maybe 45 minutes outside of Dallas, more east. So we really haven't had to do too much with winterizing our chickens. Chickens are actually pretty hardy, especially the breeds that we choose. We don't do any fancy breeds like Silkies or anything. We have Rhode Island Reds, we have Buff Orpingtons, we have a few Bantam. We have just the usual breeds that are a little bit more tougher. What we do is changing their feed. So because it's getting more winter and our chickens are not laying as much, we ended up switching from layer pellets, which you would give them when they're laying. So if they're not laying, we really don't have to give them layer pellets. We give them scratch. Scratch is grains. It's like corn. That will help them regulate their temperature. But because they are chickens, don't get too caught up in the scratch. They are also carbohydrates. We don't want to fatten them up too much during the winter. Remember that they are natural foragers. As long as they have an area to scratch up and search for bugs and different things, they should be fine. Another thing that we do is we make sure to give them a nice thick bedding. What this does is it keeps their body nice and warm. If they're pretty cold, they'll go together and they'll go into the bedding. This is a good probably 4 to 6 inches of straw. We've done pine shavings before, and this has kept them pretty well insulated. We don't do anything extra. We keep their windows somewhat open because they do need some type of air ventilation. If you're dealing with chickens sneezing, usually that's due to some type of respiratory situation. And sometimes that's not even due to the chill. That's more due to not changing out your bedding properly and the ammonia smell. Because of lack of ventilation or not changing out your bedding. So make sure you are changing out your bedding. We do it about 3 times a year because we do such a so much of it. We don't have to clean it out often, but make sure you are cleaning it out. You can kind of smell sometimes when it needs to be cleaned out. My coop right now, even though they poop in here sometimes, their food and everything is outside the coop, so we don't have to deal with too much of the stinky smell. But if we do smell anything, we'll just rake out all of this, put it in our compost, and then we will just add more straw, clean straw, and call it a day. Making sure that your chickens have enough space to somewhat free range is very, very important. As you can see, this is our somewhat backyard homestead. We don't have a ton of space, but we make sure we use the space wisely of what we do have. We ensure, of course, that they have enough water. We fill up their water anytime it's low. You have to make sure in the winter time that their water does not freeze. They need their water and they need their scratch. All in all, if you are losing chickens to the winter, Well, and when I say that, when you're losing 1 or 2 chickens in the winter time, unfortunately, that could just be because your chickens are weak. Some of the chickens are just not caught out to be in your flock. You don't want to work super hard to keep these guys alive. For many generations, chickens were just fine, free ranging. We weren't doing all this extra stuff. You don't need a heat lamp or anything like that. Sometimes that could even cause more danger than good. So in my experience, we've been raising chickens for 5 years in this area. We have never done anything else but scratch a thick bedding and ensuring that they have fresh water. So I helped you guys in this video. I hope that you cannot stress as much because this is what we do and this is what works. I hope you guys have a great day.